updating them in my guide or in Discord all the time in the chat. So I thought I'd just zoom through them all quick here, and then you can just reference them. Okay, so starting with display and video, full screen, that gives you the best FPS, highest resolution you can go, but normally I would stick to 1920 to 1080. My frame rate here says 60, but it's not, it's on 230. I edit the Fortnite config file, put it directly in there, and then when this displays that, it shows it as 60, even though it's 237. Brightness standard, interface contrast standard, colorblind mode, leave that off these days. It doesn't help at all as far as I can see. All of these graphic qualities on low, apart from textures. If you put the higher you put the textures, the more work you move away from the CPU over to your GPU, which actually makes you actually have better FPS. So I'd recommend at least medium, if not high, ideally epic. Everything else on low. VSync off, motion blur off, show FPS. I just keep an eye on that. It doesn't seem to do too much impact. Choice between rendering mode. Okay, I put something in my tuning jock about this. DirectX 12 gives better frames and more stable frames for me than DirectX 11. Performance mode is DirectX 11 minus a load of visual effects like grass quality, and makes the building pieces a lot less detailed. However, that does give you higher FPS, but in my benchmark test, it also gives a lot lower lows. So you get higher highs and lower lows, and the average is exactly the same as DirectX 12. So I've seen pros using performance mode these days, and they're having kind of huge kind of game saying, "Oh, my game's just frozen." It hasn't. Your frames have just dropped massively because you're using performance mode. Go back to DirectX 12 or 11. Okay, so you want multi-threading on. Latency markers I often have on, just so that I can see what my latency is doing. My latency is normally between about 3 milliseconds total and 5 milliseconds, which is pretty fast. I always have NVIDIA Reflex low latency on. Actually, why haven't I got that on plus boost? That was stupid. Yeah, on plus boost is what you want. I don't know why I didn't have that, but my settings should be even better now. Latency flash off, DLSS off. That's pretty much the same as performance mode, to be honest. Ray tracing off. Okay, next. I thought I don't put this on auto matchmaking region because sometimes it can get it wrong and put you in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean as your position, and so I always force it to the one I actually want. Language, sprint by default on. Yeah, I always sprint, that's an important one. Auto open doors, I always have that on as well. It just saves your button. Auto pick off, auto pick up weapons I have on. Auto consumables to the right I have on. These are important. Reset building choices, disable pre-edit option, turbo building and confirm on release. You want all of those on, definitely. I turn off contextual tips. That's just an extra pop-up saying what things do. Don't need it because I'm not a new player. Extra game options. I turn off NVIDIA highlights. I turn that off in my NVIDIA drivers as well, so I don't have the experience center. So I turn that off. That just adds latency and lag. So you don't want that on. Peripheral lighting. That's just basically having your mouse and keyboard glow in line with the game, which I don't really care about. Tap to interact. You don't have to press and hold things to open, say, a chest. So you just tap it once and it opens. Record replays. If you want some better disk performance, you can turn these all off. I like checking my replays, but turning all these off will actually reduce load on your disk and will actually improve performance if you turn them all off. Hard options, I scaled that down a bit. I turn off loot stream stuff. I don't need to know about that. Backpack and what keys I use for a backpack and map. I know those already. I don't need to show it on the screen. I turn on latency debug stats when I've put the other latency debugger on. Net stats I have on to see what my ping's doing. Reticle ammo indicator, that's just annoying, and I don't even know what that last one does. Keyboard and mouse I don't use, I use a controller. Okay, so controller options. I turn this off, controller auto run, because it says if you double click left stick, it will make you run automatically when you forward. Now, if I I have edit bound to my left stick, so if I double click that, and then I have edit and then reset, both bound to L3. So I don't want that doing something else other than resetting and edit, so I turn that off. Builder Pro immediately on. I put this minimum because I split my edit and switch mode buttons, so I don't need to hold edit to distinguish it from switch mode, so that's pretty much 0. Turn off vibration, that just messes up your aim. These are my latest sensors. 2.5, 2, 1.5. Advanced options on to turn all these guys on, and these are my latest sends, which I absolutely love. I'm on exponential at the moment, and that seems to be working well for me. Still got just as good shotgun shots with exponential, and I've got better AR shots, so at longer range. So it's a no-brainer. Dead zones, enable foot controller I have on, but I'm not sure. It's meant to reduce latency, but I can't really notice the difference on and off, so I just leave it on. Volumes, I have sound effects on full, and then I turn everything else down. Sound quality I have a high, 3D headphones high. Background audio, all sounds. So basically if I switch window to OBS, it keeps playing Fortnite sounds. Visualize sound effects off. So I actually customize my sounds to enhance footsteps using an app called APO Equalizer, which is a free app you can download, and I've got all settings for that to make louder the frequencies of footsteps on different surfaces. So if you're interested in that, ask me about my document and I can show you exactly how to set that up. And I also run loudness equalization in window sounds. That helps as well. It makes gunshots, loud things quieter and quiet things louder. So gunshots are not so overpoweringly loud, and footsteps that normally quiet are louder. So that's another useful tool. Everything else is default here. Voice chat I usually have on, but if I'm playing creatives I turn it off, just because I don't want to listen to 8-year-old kids screaming at each other. Licensing audio, yeah, if you want to listen to Gangnam Style, then I need to turn that off if I'm on stream. These I don't use. Okay, binds very quickly. Then my combat ones, I have edit on L3. I have 2 paddles at the back. One is bound to switch mode, and the other one is bound to jump. They're the things I most commonly use, so they're the 2 paddles I use. I standardize as well on crouch. I take away the other options for this, which makes crouching faster. It's having it as a single option. So yeah, edit and crouch. Edit and crouch is basically the same throughout. Crouch is throughout whatever I'm doing. So if I press R3, it doesn't matter what menu I'm in, I'm always going to crouch or uncrouch. It's really useful that. I have reset as my edit button, so all I have to do is double click edit, it resets, and then I just do confirm. Yeah, that's it. I mean, dead zones I've already seen. I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, the other thing is, if you have, I've got separate switch modes and edit buttons, but for some reason, if you bind switch mode / edit as well to an unused button, so I stick it on my touchpad, it actually makes editing faster. Don't know why, it just does. Yeah, so you want switch mode, you want a separate edit, and you want a switch mode / edit bound somewhere you're never going to use. I bind it to here. And when you see it on the screen, when it says which button you're using to edit, you actually see this mode coming up, even though I edit with L3. Okay, hope that's it. Any questions, just ask me in Discord chat when I'm streaming. Alright, bye for now.